Okay, so AI hype is literally everywhere, right? But let's get real for a second. What does it actually take to go from a cool idea to a real working application that people can use? That's what we're going to dig in today. The practical, step-by-step reality of building with AI.
To really get this, let's make it personal. I've got over 40,000 photos and videos in my own cloud storage. That's just one person's digital life. Now, just imagine trying to find one specific memory, like that picture of the dog catching a frisbee on a sunny day. Without AI, forget about it. It's impossible. With AI, it feels like actual magic.
And that is the big question we're tackling today. We see the magic on our end, as users. But for the builders, the engineers, the entrepreneurs, it is a super complex journey. It's not just about knowing how to code. It's about strategy, resources, and honestly, a completely new way of thinking about software.
All right, so before you even think about writing a single line of code, the most important step is just planning. Seriously, building a cool little demo is pretty easy these days. But building a real product that makes money and can defend itself, that starts with asking some really tough strategic questions.
So the very first question you've got to ask is, why are we even doing this? And the answer usually falls into one of three buckets. Are you on a life raft just paddling like crazy to keep up because all your competitors are using AI? Or maybe you're on a rocket ship, chasing some massive new opportunity to grow. Or are you on a scout ship, just exploring to see what's out there so you don't get left in the dust? Your answer here is going to shape every single decision that comes next. Okay, this next one is a huge deal for any AI product. Human in the loop. This isn't about AI replacing people. It's about making them better. Think about a customer service chatbot. Instead of just letting it go wild and talk to customers, you first have it suggest responses to a human agent. That agent can then approve or tweak the response. This builds trust, it ensures quality, and guess what? It's also an amazing way to train the AI with real-world feedback. It's a safety net and a training tool all in one. Microsoft has this brilliant framework for this they call crawl, walk, run. It's super simple. In the crawl phase, a human has to sign off on every single AI decision, no exceptions. Then, in the walk phase, you might let it interact with your own employees, a much safer group to test on. And only when you're really, really confident do you run and let the AI talk directly to your customers. It's all about slowly handing over control and minimizing risk along the way. And this brings us to a really tough truth about building AI right now. It's easier than ever to get started, which is both a blessing and a curse. You can whip up a cool app that summarizes PDFs in a weekend, but what's stopping a giant like Google from just adding that as a tiny little feature in an update? This question, what makes your product defensible, is the thing that keeps AI founders up at night. So to figure out how to build something that lasts, we have to talk about a massive shift that's happened in engineering. Building with today's huge pre-trained AI models isn't just a small update, it's a completely different way of working. So let's break this down. Old school versus the new way of doing things. Back in the day, you'd start with a mountain of data, spend months or even years training a very specific model from scratch, and then you try to build a product around it. Today, you start with an unbelievably powerful model like GPT-4 and a product idea. The focus has totally shifted from building from scratch to adapting what's already there. I mean, the whole thing has literally been turned on its head. In the past, it was all about the data. Data first, then model, then maybe you'd get to a product. Today, you start with the product. You think about the user experience first, and then you work your way backward to figure out which model and which data you need to make that experience happen. This is a total game changer. And this new way of working creates a whole new stack. So at the very bottom, you've got your infrastructure, the cloud servers and all that. In the middle, you have model development, which is stuff like fine-tuning. But the real revolution, where all the explosive innovation is happening, is at the very top, the application layer. This is where you're doing prompt engineering, managing context, and designing the actual user interface. And the engine behind all of this? It's this absolutely incredible economic shift. The power of these models is just skyrocketing, while the cost to actually use them is falling off a cliff. I mean, just look at this chart. It tells the whole story. The vertical axis there is cost, and it's a log scale, which basically means each of those horizontal lines is a 10x drop. Look on the left, back in 2022. The models were expensive and, well, okay-ish. Now look at the right. In 2024, the models are insanely powerful and orders of magnitude cheaper. This single trend is what's making this whole AI app boom possible. But
And this is a big but. Here comes the reality check for every builder out there. Getting that first demo working, going from 0 to something that's, say, 60% right, it can feel like magic. It's so easy. But that last mile, getting from a cool demo to a product that's 99% reliable, that is brutally hard. Why? Because that's when you hit all the weird edge cases, all the unpredictable things users will do, and all the subtle biases hiding inside the model. This is where most AI projects get stuck.
So, how do you conquer that last mile? Well, you've got to understand what you're actually working with. What is inside these giant foundation models? It's not magic, it's just data. And a model's strengths and its weaknesses are a direct mirror of the data it was trained on. Look, this is probably the single most important rule in all of AI. Garbage in, garbage out. It's that simple. If a model wasn't trained on data that's relevant to what you're trying to do, it's just not going to work well. It doesn't matter how clever your prompts are, the training data is basically the model's DNA. And you can see the effects of this data dependency everywhere. Take a look at this. It shows a model's performance across different languages. English is way up there, over 85% accuracy. Awesome. But look at Telugu, a language spoken by almost 100 million people, and the score drops to 62%. The reason is simple. The model was trained on the internet, and the internet is overwhelmingly in English. Want an even crazier example? Check this out. When you ask GPT-4 to solve math problems, it does pretty well in English, but in Armenian, it's 3 times worse. And in Burmese, it fails every single time, a complete 0. Now, this doesn't mean the model's bad at math. It means it barely saw any math problems written in Armenian or Burmese when it was being trained. And it's not just about what language you speak. It's also about the subject. This chart here breaks down one of the massive datasets used for training. You can see it's super heavy on stuff like business, tech, and news. So if you're trying to build an app for, specialized medical research or ancient history, this general-purpose data might not be good enough. Okay, so after all that, what does this actually mean if you want to build something today? It means we need a new playbook. A playbook designed for this completely new era of AI engineering. So here it is, the new playbook for any modern AI builder. First, think product first. Focus on the user, not just the tech. Second, you have to be relentless about evaluation and testing because these models can be super unpredictable. And maybe most important of all, in a world where everyone can use the same powerful models, your unique private data becomes your single biggest competitive advantage. That's your moat. You see, this completely reframes the whole game. It's not about who can spend billions of dollars to build the next giant model anymore. The new race is about who can most cleverly take these incredible tools and apply them to solve real problems for real people. The focus has shifted from pure science to creative product innovation. So the whole process has flipped. The old way was data, then model, then product. The new way is product, then data, then model. It's a fundamental change in how we build things. So the question is no longer where are you going to get the data? The real question now is what product do you want to bring into the world? So what will you build first?